The gentle clink of wine against crystal was the last peaceful sound I heard before my world imploded. My phone buzzed against the coffee table, Emma's name lighting up the screen. I almost didn't answer, almost preserved those final moments of blissful ignorance. Valentina, I need to tell you something. Emma's voice cracked, already heavy with tears. I'm Valentina, and until that moment, I thought I had it all figured out. A rising marketing executive, a devoted boyfriend of 3 years, and a best friend I'd trust with my life. Funny how quickly certainties can crumble. What's wrong? I asked, fingers tightening around my wine glass. I've been sleeping with Chaz. The words hung in the air like poison. My grip loosened, and red wine spilled across my cream carpet, spreading like blood. What did you just say? My voice sounded foreign, distant. It started, God, Val, I'm so sorry. It started at your birthday party last year. We were drunk, and my birthday party. The memory flashed sharp and clear. Emma disappearing for an hour, Chaz claiming he had a work call. 13 months ago? Please, let me explain. Explain what? Ice had replaced the blood in my veins. How you've been fucking my boyfriend for over a year. How you've sat across from me at brunches, helped me pick out lingerie for him, listened to me talk about our future. I never meant, stop talking. The calm in my voice surprised even me. Where is he now? A pause. At my place. Of course he was. The business dinner he'd texted about earlier suddenly made perfect sense. My hands didn't shake as I stood, wine seeping into my bare feet. Val, please say something. Thank you for telling me, I said, and I meant it. Now never contact me again. I ended the call and stared at my reflection in the darkened window. The woman looking back at me seemed different, harder, colder. My phone buzzed again, Chaz this time. I declined the call and opened my photos instead. There we were, the three of us, at every major moment of the past year. Holidays, parties, weekend getaways. In each photo, their secret played out in plain sight. The subtle touches, the knowing glances, the carefully maintained distance. I'd been starring in my own tragedy without even knowing it. My phone buzzed a third time. A text from Chaz. Emma told me she called you. We need to talk. I can explain everything. I smiled then, a sharp, dangerous thing that felt foreign on my face. Oh, we'll talk, I whispered to my empty apartment. But first, I need to plan. The night air bit at my cheeks as I walked through the empty streets, my heels clicking against the pavement. 3 a.m., and sleep was the furthest thing from my mind. My phone had finally stopped buzzing after 47 missed calls and 23 texts. Val, a familiar voice cut through the darkness. I turned to see Yolanda jogging toward me, still in her scrubs from her hospital shift. I came as soon as I got your message. You didn't have to, I said. But my voice cracked, betraying me. Like hell I didn't. She pulled me into a tight hug. Come on, there's a 24-hour diner around the corner. You need coffee and a friendly ear. The fluorescent lights of Jimmy's diner made everything feel surreal. Yolanda ordered coffee while I stared at the scratched Formica table. Tell me everything, she said. It wasn't just a few times, I started, my coffee growing cold. Emma kept talking, couldn't shut up once she started. Weekend trips, when I thought he was at conferences. Late nights at her place, while I was working on the Peterson campaign. Jesus Christ, Yolanda's hand clenched around her mug. You know what's funny? I let out a hollow laugh. Last month, when I found the receipt for the jewelry store, I actually thought he was going to propose. The necklace Emma wore to the charity gala, Yolanda whispered, realization dawning. The sapphire one. Bingo. I took a sip of coffee, grimacing at its bitterness. He bought it with the money from our joint savings account. My phone buzzed again. Emma's face appeared on the screen with a text. Please, can we meet? There's more you need to know. More? I showed the text to Yolanda. What more could there possibly be? Don't respond, Yolanda warned. Not until you're ready. Oh, I'll respond. I started typing, then stopped. No, you're right. They don't deserve a response. Not yet. What are you thinking? Yolanda leaned forward, studying my face. I'm thinking about the corporate merger Chaz has been working on. The one he's been bragging about for months. A plan was forming, crystal clear in its simplicity. I'm thinking about how much inside information Emma has about her father's company's finances. And I'm thinking about all those late-night strategy sessions they've been having. Yolanda's eyes widened. Val, did you know it's illegal to trade stocks based on insider information? I smiled, remembering all those conversations I'd overheard, all those documents I'd glimpsed on our shared home office desk. The SEC takes that kind of thing very seriously. Be careful, Yolanda warned. Revenge can burn the hand that seeks it. Good thing I'm already burned. I stood up, dropping cash on the table. Now it's their turn to feel the heat. Morning, sweetheart. I greeted Chaz with a kiss on the cheek as he stumbled into our kitchen, dark circles under his eyes. He froze, coffee mug halfway to his lips. Val, you're talking to me? Of course, I smiled, sliding a plate of eggs across the counter. We need to discuss things, don't we? Over dinner tonight. Relief flooded his face. Yes, absolutely. I can explain everything. Looking forward to it. I grabbed my bag, heading for the door. Oh, and honey, maybe shower before work. You smell like Emma's perfume. His face drained of color as I closed the door behind me. At the office, I made a beeline for Nora's desk. My mentor looked up from her computer, reading my expression instantly. You look like you need something stronger than coffee, she said, pulling out her emergency bourbon from her bottom drawer. I need advice. I closed her office door. And maybe a crash course in corporate espionage. Nora's eyebrows shot up as I laid out everything. The affair, the merger, the suspicious meetings. Hold up, she interrupted. You're saying Chaz has been feeding Emma insider information about our company's merger with her father's firm. While sleeping with her, yes. I took a sip of bourbon. And I have proof. Show me. I pulled out my phone, playing a video I'd recorded that morning while Chaz was in the shower. His laptop, carelessly left open, displayed emails between him and Emma discussing confidential merger details. Jesus, Nora whispered. This is serious SEC violation territory. Exactly. I leaned forward. So here's my question. How do I use this without implicating myself? Nora studied me for a long moment. You need to be smart about this. One wrong move, and you could go down with them. I'm counting on you to help me do it right. First, she said, pulling out a legal pad. We need to secure your finances. Tell me you don't have any joint accounts with him. Just one, our savings. Empty it, now. She handed me her phone. Call the bank. Move everything to a new account in your name only. It's your money too, and you need to protect yourself. My hands shook as I dialed. 20 minutes later, our joint savings, including the money he'd used to buy Emma's necklace, was safely in my new account. Next, Nora said, her eyes gleaming with determination. We're going to anonymously tip off the SEC. But first, we need to gather more evidence. Can you keep playing nice with Chaz for a few more days? I thought about his face that morning, so relieved that I seemed to be forgiving him. Oh, I can do better than nice. I can make him think he's gotten away with everything. That's my girl, Nora smiled. Now let's talk strategy. I found Emma exactly where I knew she'd be, at our usual lunch spot, sitting at our regular table. Her face was pale, makeup couldn't hide her puffy eyes. Perfect. Val, she jumped up, nearly knocking over her water. I didn't think you'd come. Sit down, Emma. I slid into the booth, watching her collapse back into her seat. You said there was more I needed to know, so talk. I don't even know where to start. Her hands trembled as she shredded a napkin. How about with my birthday party? That seems like a good place to begin. It wasn't supposed to happen. Tears welled in her eyes. But Chaz, he said things, made promises. What kind of promises? He said he'd help me save my father's company. The words tumbled out. The merger. It wasn't just about business. Dad's company is failing. We needed this deal. I kept my face neutral, even as triumph surged through me. So you slept with my boyfriend for insider information? No. She reached for my hand. I pulled away. I mean, yes, but it became more than that. We fell in love. Love? I laughed, the sound sharp enough to make nearby diners turn. Is that what you call it, when he's still sleeping in my bed? Emma's face went white. What? Oh, I leaned forward. Did he tell you we broke up? That he moved out? Because just this morning, he was very much at home, in our bed, wearing the watch I got him for Christmas. He said, her voice cracked, he promised he'd ended things with you weeks ago. Seems like Chaz makes a lot of promises. I stood up, dropping cash on the table. By the way, that sapphire necklace he bought you, he used our joint savings for that. Money I earned. Val, wait. She grabbed my arm. There's something else, something bigger. The merger. It's not what everyone thinks. There are problems, serious ones. If this gets out, what kind of problems? I can't. I've already said too much. She released my arm. Just be careful. Please. I walked out, my mind racing. In the parking lot, my phone buzzed with a text from Nora. SEC contact wants to meet. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. Another text came through, this one from an unknown number. Heard you're looking into Chaz Stewart. I have information you might want. Meet me at the Blue Room tonight at 8. Ask for Sebastian. I stared at the message, remembering Emma's warning about serious problems. Whatever was going on, it was bigger than a simple affair, much bigger. I texted back one word, okay. The game was changing, and I needed to know all the players. The elevator ride to our office floor felt endless. Chaz stood too close, his cologne making my stomach turn. About last night, he started. When you didn't come home for dinner. Work emergency, I lied smoothly. You know how it is. Speaking of which, how's the merger coming along? His shoulder tensed. Fine, everything's on track. The doors opened, and Nora intercepted us immediately. Val, need you for the morning briefing. In her office, she locked the door. The SEC agent called again. They're very interested in those documents you sent. Good. I sank into her chair. Because this goes deeper than we thought. Emma practically admitted to securities fraud yesterday. Val! Yolanda's voice made us both jump. She stood in the doorway, having used her spare key to Nora's office. We need to talk, now. Nora excused herself as Yolanda took her seat. I saw you going into the Blue Room last night, Yolanda said. Tell me you're not working with Sebastian. How do you know Sebastian? Everyone in corporate law knows Sebastian. He's been trying to take down Chaz's firm for years. He's dangerous, Val. He has information I need. At what cost? Yolanda leaned forward. This isn't you. The lying, the scheming. You're starting to sound like them. Them? I stood up. They destroyed my life, Yolanda. They took everything from me. No, they didn't. They betrayed you, yes, but you still have your integrity, your dignity. Don't lose that for revenge. My phone buzzed. Sebastian. Meeting set with whistleblower from Chaz's firm. Tonight. I have to do this, I told Yolanda. Not just for revenge. People could lose everything when this merger goes through. Emma practically admitted it's fraudulent. Then go to the SEC, go to the police, but don't go down this road. The SEC meeting is tomorrow, but I need all the evidence I can get. Yolanda stood, heading for the door. Just remember, once you cross certain lines, there's no coming back. After she left, I stared at my reflection in Nora's window. The woman looking back seemed harder than before, her eyes calculating. Was Yolanda right? Was I becoming something I'd hate? My phone buzzed again. Chaz. Dinner tonight? I miss you. Another message followed from Sebastian. Whistleblower has proof of money laundering. Coming tonight? I looked at both messages, feeling the weight of Yolanda's words. There was still time to walk away, to take the high road, to be better than them. I picked up my phone and typed, "See you tonight." But which message I was responding to, I wasn't quite sure. The Blue Room's dim lighting couldn't hide Sebastian's expensive suit or the dangerous glint in his eyes. He looked exactly like the corporate shark Yolanda had warned me about. "Glad you came," he said, sliding a USB drive across the table. "Everything you need to know about Chaz's operation is on here. Why are you helping me? Let's just say Chaz and I have history." Sebastian's smile didn't reach his eyes. "He stole more than just my fiancé 3 years ago." "Your fiancé? And a $50 million deal." He took a sip of whiskey. "But that's ancient history. What matters is what's happening now. Have you looked at the merger documents closely?" "Some. Enough to know something's wrong." "Wrong doesn't begin to cover it." He leaned forward. "They're using the merger to hide massive losses. When it falls apart, and it will, thousands of people will lose their savings, including Emma's father's employees." My phone buzzed. "Chaz, where are you? Dinner's getting cold." "Tick-tock, Valentina," Sebastian said. "The SEC meeting is tomorrow, but if we move tonight, we can stop the merger before morning." "What exactly are you suggesting?" "I have a contact at the Financial Times. One call, and this all goes public. Chaz and Emma go down, the merger fails, but the employees' pensions get saved. And what do you get out of this? Besides revenge?" He smiled again. "Let's just say my firm is positioned to pick up the pieces when it all falls apart." My phone buzzed again. This time, "Yolanda, whatever you're thinking of doing, remember who you are." "Time to choose, Valentina," Sebastian said. "Are you in or out?" I stared at the USB drive. "If I do this, I want guarantees. The employees get protected." "Already arranged. Just sign here." He slid over a document. "It makes you a whistleblower officially. Full immunity." The pen felt heavy in my hand. One signature, and there'd be no turning back. "Oh, and one more thing," Sebastian added. "Chaz isn't just cooking the books. That money he's been moving around. Some of it's connected to less than legal enterprises, the kind that interest federal agents." My hand froze over the paper. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying that once this starts, it won't just be careers ending. People are going to jail." I thought of Chaz waiting at home, probably still thinking he had me fooled. Of Emma, who chose money and lies over our friendship. Of all the innocent people about to lose everything. "Where do I sign?" Sebastian's smile turned predatory as I put pen to paper. "Welcome to the dark side, Valentina. Now let's burn it all down." The company's annual gala buzzed with nervous energy. News of the merger's irregularities had already started leaking to the press. Chaz stood at the podium, his confident smile never wavering. "And with this historic merger," he announced, "we're entering a new era of prosperity." I caught Emma's eye across the room. She clutched her champagne glass, the sapphire necklace glinting at her throat. "Before we continue," I called out, standing, "I have something to add." Chaz's smile flickered. "Val, honey, this isn't the time." "Actually, it's exactly the time." I walked to the podium, USB drive in hand. "Everyone here deserves to know what this merger really is." "Valentina, don't," Emma pleaded. "The SEC has already received these documents," I continued, my voice carrying across the suddenly silent room. "But I think everyone here should see them too." The projector screen came to life, courtesy of Nora at the controls, displaying damning email threads, bank transfers, and falsified documents. "Your golden boy here," I gestured to Chaz, "has been orchestrating one of the biggest fraud schemes in corporate history. And his partner in crime," I turned to Emma. "Well, she was happy to sell out her own father's company for a shot at the big leagues and a sapphire necklace." Chaos erupted. Emma's father stood up, face purple with rage. "Is this true?" "Daddy, I can explain. Federal agents are already on their way," I announced. "But don't worry about the employees' pensions. Thanks to some careful negotiation, they're protected." Chaz lunged for me, but Sebastian appeared, blocking his path. "I wouldn't do that if I were you. Assaulting a federal whistleblower, that's another charge you don't need." "You planned this," Chaz snarled at me. "All of it. The dinners. Acting like you'd forgiven me. Learned from the best, didn't I?" I smiled. "You taught me all about playing the long game." Emma tried to run, but security blocked the exits. Her father was shouting about betrayal. Executives were making frantic phone calls. And through it all, I stood at the podium, watching justice unfold. "You've ruined everything," Emma cried. "No," I corrected her. "You did that when you chose greed over loyalty. The necklace looks lovely, by the way. Hope it was worth it." The federal agents arrived right on schedule, leading Chaz and Emma away in handcuffs. As they passed me, Chaz stopped. "I did love you, you know," he said quietly. "No," I replied. "You loved what I represented, the perfect cover for your perfect scam. But guess what? I'm not your cover anymore. I'm your downfall." The doors closed behind them, and the room erupted in chaos once again. But for the first time in months, I felt at peace. The morning sun streamed through my new office window as I packed the last of my personal items. The promotion to senior VP had come with a better view and a lot more responsibility. "Ready for the board meeting?" Nora asked from the doorway. "Born ready." I straightened my jacket. "How's the transition team doing?" "Better than expected. Most of the employees are grateful you saved their pensions. The press is calling you a corporate hero." I snorted. "Hero isn't the word I'd use." "Survivor, then." Yolanda appeared behind Nora, holding up a newspaper. The headline read, "Stewart and Sanderson plead guilty in massive fraud case." "Have you read their statements?" Nora asked. "Don't need to." I placed a framed photo on my desk, me with Nora and Yolanda at the company retreat. Their words don't matter anymore. My phone buzzed. "Sebastian, dinner tonight to celebrate the guilty pleas?" "Speaking of words that don't matter," I showed them the text. "Tell me you're not considering it," Yolanda said. "God, no." I typed a quick response. "Thanks, but I don't make deals with sharks anymore." "Smart girl." Nora grinned. "Now come on, the board's waiting." Walking into the boardroom, I felt eyes tracking my every move. Some admiring, some wary, all respectful. I took my seat at the table, earned, not given. "Before we begin," I addressed the room, "I want to be clear about something. What happened with the merger wasn't just about fraud or betrayal. It was about choices. Every day we choose who we want to be. I chose to fight back, yes. But more importantly, I chose to do it the right way. By exposing the truth," someone asked. "By remembering who I am." I met each person's gaze. "We're starting fresh today. Total transparency. Anyone who has a problem with that can leave now." Nobody moved. Good. I opened my folder. "Let's talk about rebuilding." After the meeting, I found Yolanda waiting in my office. "You did good, Val," she said. "But are you really okay?" I thought about Chaz and Emma, about betrayal and revenge, about the person I'd almost become in pursuing justice. "I'm better than okay," I replied. "For the first time, I know exactly who I am, and I like her. Even without someone by your side? I'm not alone." I smiled. "I have real friends, a career I earned, and my integrity intact. That's worth more than any relationship built on lies." My phone buzzed one last time. Emma trying to call from jail. I declined the call and blocked the number. "Come on," I told Yolanda. "Let's get lunch. I'm thinking somewhere new." She linked her arm through mine. New sounds perfect. After all, that's what I was now. New, stronger, free.